We ask those here in person today to take a moment after the service and say hi to someone you don't yet know. And now please join us for our opening hymn, number 1008 in your teal hymnal. Please rise, embody your spirit, and join us in singing.
When we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. Come into this holy place, your mind, your heart. Come, let us worship together.
Please join me in reading the covenant found in your order of service. Love is the spirit of our congregation. Service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to encourage one another. Thus do we covenant.
Thank you for that wonderful music. Now it is time for all ages. So I invite anyone who wants to, if they are young at heart or in body, to come up and stand at this front so that I can read you The North Star by Peter H. Reynolds. Good morning. A sweet breeze met the boy as he awoke to his journey. He traveled on all fours for quite some time, and he grew, and he paused. One day, he had the urge to stand, to walk. It made his journey easier. He could run too, but for the most part, he walked. He wasn't afraid of much. He wandered the fields, exploring, sometimes stopping, sometimes going happily in circles, sometimes dancing, sometimes napping. One day, the boy saw an oak leaf drift and land on the water. He managed how the leaf managed to float, the way the stars seemed to float in the night sky. A spray of sand interrupted his thoughts. "Where are you going in such a hurry?" asked the boy. But the rabbit shot out of sight, disappearing onto a path the boy had not noticed before. The boy left the floating leaf and wandered towards the path. Then he saw a cat. The cat purred gently. "Where did the rabbit go in such a hurry?" the boy asked the cat. "He was in a rush to start his journey. It is time for you to start your journey too." "Oh, but I have been on a journey," the boy cried. "I've seen so many wonderful things. Some I understand, some I don't, like how the leaf floats on the water." "Well, that's fascinating, but I'd hate for you to be late. You don't want to be left behind." "Behind? Who's ahead of me?" "You wouldn't believe how many. You know, you're not the only one on this journey. Plenty ahead of you, lots to follow." The boy began walking down the path. It stretched out far in front of him. Signs kept pointing him along the way. Some parts of the journey were easy, and some were very difficult. Although he was following the well-worn path, he had a growing feeling that he was lost. The forest seemed to be growing thicker. The soil was wet and muddy, making every step a struggle. Clouds rolled in overhead, and the darkness closed around him. After many difficult miles, he could not take another step. He noticed an oak leaf drift from the sky. It sailed with ease. It swirled on a breeze and was carried deep into the forest. The leaf disappeared behind a grove of trees. He stepped off the path to follow it. Oops, forgot to show you them. The boy found the leaf floating on a pond in a peaceful clearing, like a delicate boat on a dreamy voyage. His thoughts were interrupted by a voice. "Oh, there you are. I was worried," said the cat. "Don't wander off like that. Now hurry. You're falling behind." So the boy ran and ran and ran, and as he ran, he noticed the forest getting darker and thicker. The muddy ground became covered with water. He could no longer see the path. He sloshed through the swamp until he came to a clearing in the forest. There he saw a bird. "You look lost," the bird said. "I don't think so. I'm not sure if I'm lost," the boy replied. "I hadn't really thought about it." "Hadn't thought about it," said the bird. "You must have some idea of where you're going, yes?" "Well, I've been following the path. It seems as if many people have taken it before me, and there are many signs along the way. and a very helpful cat guided me back to the path when I started to wander. The crickets fell silent as the bird asked, "But where do you want to be going?" "I'm not sure," said the boy as he looked around at the dark, tangled swamp, "but I do know that this is not where I want to be. I guess I am lost." The bird said, "Ask yourself where it is you want to go, and then follow the signs you already know." "What signs? Where are they?" But the bird flew off into the cloudy night sky. The boy looked up into the sky, something he had not done in a very, very long time. He tried desperately to see where the bird had gone, and as he did, the clouds seemed to melt. And there, above him, was a star, a very bright star. The boy stared at the star and felt a pang in his heart, a tingling in his spine, and a whisper in his ear. He could hear the star. The voice sounded so familiar. The boy began to walk toward the star. As he did, he noticed many others stretched out above him like a great big map. They had been there all along, waiting for him. He stopped and rested a moment, savoring his guiding stars. "What are you staring at?" croaked a voice behind him. "What's up there? What's so interesting?" The boy waited closer and answered, "Stars. I'm looking at the stars." "What stars?" asked the frog. "I see a dark sky and mist and low green clouds." "You don't see them?" the boy asked. "They're helping guide me out of the swamp. Would you like to come with me?" "No, thank you," the frog smiled. "I'm quite at home here in the bog. I swam here as a tadpole and grew up here, and here I will stay." The boy realized at that moment that everyone has a different journey, different signs, and different stars, their own constellations. The boy left the frog, who croaked to farewell. "Good luck on your journey." As he ventured beyond the swampy forest, the boy heard a cry. It was the rabbit who had been in such a hurry earlier, looking tired and hungry. He was stranded on a limb in the middle of a rushing river. The boy waded out, but realized that the river was too deep. The rabbit was trapped. Then he saw an oak leaf drift by. It gave him an idea. The boy fashioned a boat out of swamp grass and twigs and rescued the rabbit. The boy smiled, having made the rabbit's journey easier. The boy looked up. He noticed the star had become even brighter. He followed the star, and as he did, the muddy ground grew drier, then grassy, then soft and sandy. Finally, he came to rest atop a dune. There below him was a beach and a boat. The boy looked out toward the horizon. The star glowed steadily, reminding him that he still had a long journey ahead. But it was his own journey, his very own wonderful journey. The beginning. Now it is time to send our children and youth to religious education. I want you to remember that you are not just an important part of the future, you are an important part of our present. You have such valuable wisdom and joy to offer now as you are today. Please join me in singing As You Go in your order of worship. Enter with me into the space that some call prayer and others name meditation. See if you can make yourself just a little bit more comfortable. Open yourself to the wonders and mysteries of the world. Open yourself to compassion and empathy. Take one breath. Take another. Center yourself. Spirit of life, known by many names, called God, Allah, the divine by some, understood by others as the highest aspiration within the human heart, be with us this hour. Be with us and remind us that truly all we have in this hour, this moment, this experience of the present, that past and future are but illusions, stories we tell each other, the accumulated materiality of rock, plant growth, and human ingenuity. They are not the here, the now, the is, the be of human connection, human relation, of this breath, this inhale, this exhale, and the next. Help us in this recollection to live in the present with those around us, to be fully with them and with ourselves as our lives shift from present moment to present moment, the past always a memory, the future always a dream, the present only now. May this recollection help strengthen all of us to live now in the present as a community and with others on this good green earth. That it may be so, I invite the congregation to say amen. Amen. We pause now together to lift up that which sits heavy and light upon us. Ames, our admin assistant, Ames' sister has welcomed a new baby into the world, so yay! And please feel free to see Ames after the service for photos. We turn now to a practice inspired by African, indigenous, and neo-pagan traditions. We say aloud or bring to mind those who we wish to be held by the loving embrace of this religious community. In this great cloud of witness and memory, amid this beloved community, we hear these names and hold them in our hearts. Let us also extend our empathy to all the suffering and joy amid and among our community that we do not know. We pause in awe and wonder of the beauty, diversity, and mystery that is life. In the spirit of love, in the spirit of hope, and in the spirit of compassion, I invite each of you to enter into a time of silent prayer, meditation, or reflection.
is this moment filled with grace. This is my prayer. This is my prayer. May the sense of mystery guide us through our journey. This is my prayer. This is my prayer. This is my prayer.
Our morning offering is shared with an organization that shares our Unitarian Universalist values. Through our generosity, our work in the world is proliferated, and our values are brought to life. This week, we are supporting Friends of Phyllis Wheatley High School. Diane Wolfthal is the founder and president of Friends of Phyllis Wheatley High School, which serves Wheatley students experiencing poverty, food insecurity, and/or homelessness by providing them with essential items such as clothing and personal care items. The organization also supports students' academic progress and create educational opportunities. Diane started this organization in 2021 when she retired from her position as an art history professor at Rice University. And she'll tell you more about the group.
Thank you for inviting me here today to talk about Friends of Phyllis Wheatley High School. I would like to invite you to think about Wheatley in two very different ways. We can think about it statistically. 99% of Wheatley students are Black or Latino. 96% are economically disadvantaged. 1 out of 20 are homeless, and another 1 out of 20 are immigrants. And tests have certified that 3% of the students are gifted or talented, but of course the numbers are much greater than that. Alternatively, we can think about Wheatley in terms of individual students. And I would like today to tell you about one outstanding student, Thomas Johnson, the last valedictorian. He's a very warm student with a positive attitude and a broad range of interests. He's headed for the University of North Texas at Denton, which is a Research One institution. Thomas plans to major in biomedical engineering. And when I asked him what his favorite classes at Wheatley were, he answered, "How many courses can I list?" He then mentioned U.S. government and added that he loved, his word, biology and algebra too. He shared with me that he really enjoyed attending Wheatley, and he cited its close-knit environment where everyone knows everyone else. Friends of Phyllis Wheatley High School views students like Thomas as the heart of our mission. We support students by addressing basic critical needs, food, clothing, personal hygiene items, so that they can attend school and be able to concentrate on their work once they get there. But we try to address the particular needs of each student. The pregnant girl who lives in a storage unit, the boy who has just been burned out of his apartment and is now homeless, and also those Wheatley students who are about to enter college. We have a fund to pay for college applications, and this past year we gave each student going on to college gifts that would help outfit their dorm room. To the valedictorian and salutatorian, we give a small cash award to help offset the cost of college. And all students who have perfect attendance or a B+ or more average are invited to a quarterly pizza party. Friends of Phyllis Wheatley High School is a young organization, and each year we have improved financially, but we are extremely grateful for your continued support, both financially and in terms of the drive for personal hygiene items. We would also invite you, if you have the time, to help us either distribute the items, tutor. We need help with the garden that we are starting that will produce vegetables and fresh fruits for the students. And we would like to thank Thorpe Butler, I don't think he's here today, who's one of our primary volunteers, who's a member of your congregation. We have no paid staff. We don't pay for office space or storage space. So except for our website, which we need to fundraise, every cent that's given to us goes directly to the students. And because we are small and have no bureaucracy, we can immediately address any emergency situations that arise when students need it. I want to thank you again because it is your donations that pay for this, and we are extremely grateful. Thank you.
Those here in our sanctuary will find the instructions for text giving in the order of service, and those watching the live stream will see the instructions on their screens. Our regular Sunday morning offering collection invites us to weave a tapestry of love and action. We ask you to give generously. An offering will be gratefully received now.
Please join me in saying the words to dedicate the offering found in your order of service. To the work of this church, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives, and these are offerings.
The first reading is "The Stars Are Dancing" by Om Prakash. The stars are dancing tonight while the moon sits in her golden hammock, swaying back and forth to the rhythm of celestial voices. The beloved is full of rapture, dancing worlds and stars into being, drunk with the wine of passion, and filling the heavens with song. Do not sit alone in the dark while creation sings three-part harmony. Dance, my friends, dance wildly, sing joyfully. Fill your heart with the beauty of the beloved as the beloved turns your soul to light. Here ends the first reading.
The second reading is an excerpt from Nature by Ralph Waldo Emerson. This essay laid the groundwork for the Transcendentalism movement, which was led by Unitarians. In the woods, we return to reason and faith. There I feel nothing can befall me in life, no disgrace, no calamity leaving me my eyes, which nature cannot repair. Standing on the bare ground, my head bathed by the blithe air and uplifted into infinite space, all mean egotism vanishes. I become a transparent eyeball. I am nothing. I see all. The currents of the universal being circulate through me. I am part or parcel of God. Herein ends the second reading. This morning, I want to tell you about a place near and dear to my heart, U, a Unitarian Universalist camp and retreat center outside Kerrville. I first came to U for the youth camps 9 years ago, and the sense of community was palpable. I was 14, and many of the campers had been attending since they were 9 years old. Even my deep extroversion was scared by all these people who knew each other so well. But by the end of the week, I knew that I belonged there, and that I could show up still figuring out who I was, and that each new version of me would be accepted. I have come back time and time again, my senior year of high school serving as dean, which is one of the youth who plan and run the whole week for high schoolers. After bridging to adulthood, I came back first as an adult counselor and then as chaplain. I am telling you all of this because among the many things that U has taught me, I have learned what happens at the intersection of nature and covenantal community, and moving towards beloved community. Beloved community is this idea of a radically inclusive community where we live our values to the fullest, where bigotry is no more, where our inherent worth and dignity is deeply respected. It's beautiful, and it is so abstract. It can be easy to forget what we are working towards. Camp reminds me. If you come to U in the heat of June and you stay after dinner, you will see 30 middle schoolers sitting around a fire circle talking about how they did on the covenant that day. I'll let you in on a secret. Even when they struggle, even when they give me stories to tell for years to come of their audacity and their mistake-making, they still do pretty well. They have conversations about kindness and respect that make me believe truly that the kids are all right. Yes, we are in covenant here for a few hours a week on Sunday mornings, but it's not the same as eating and sleeping and working with a group by the covenant. It is different when conversations about scraping your plates is a conversation about covenant. It is different when the high schoolers choose to have an evening full of fun and they choose to make it a no-phone zone, totally on their own accord. Surrounded by the bluegrass and purple thistle, being called back into covenant, being asked to try again and again and again, I know that this is the closest I have gotten to beloved community. If you have not been out there, let me attempt to describe it. Nestled between the Devil's Backbone and the Milky Way is this UU summer camp and retreat center. On land donated by the Quakers at the turn of this century, at the end of a long road rightfully named Thrill Hill, you will find the place that I know to be my second home. Here is where I should probably tell you that my mom became the executive director about 3 years ago, so I may be just a little bit biased. You can see our property lines on an aerial view, and from the density of the juniper, cedar, and the live oak trees that we let grow wild. There is something special about Unitarian Universalists owning the property and nurturing it with respect for the interdependent web of life as a guiding principle. From how we choose to use pest control to our septic systems, from cultivating native species to growing with our impact on the local aquifer at the forefront of our minds. This is a place shaped by Unitarian Universalist values down to its bones. And it is an international dark sky park. You can see the Milky Way with your naked eye. With our telescopes, you can see the face of the moon, globular clusters, and moons and stars I had never heard of. We do a star party for each week of the youth camp and many of the other events, run by our board member and groundskeeper, Donnie, and by the amateur astronomers who have found a different kind of magic at camp. Laying on the tarp and looking up at the sky, surrounded by friends, Donnie tells you about the stars in his Central Texas accent. We are a mess of limbs, and I am not always sure who the person next to me is, but suddenly they are my confidant. Similar to how it is easier to share your soul when you are staring ahead at the road, gazing at the Milky Way makes even the most personal things feel shareable. Emerson said, "But if a man would be alone, let him look at the stars. The rays that come from those heavenly worlds will separate between him and what he touches." Unitarian Universalists often describe our spiritual experiences in community as journeying alone together. This feels very true on that blue tarp. With the auditory backdrop of my fellow travelers, I consider how small I am in comparison to the Milky Way, but I do not feel insignificant. My problems feel small. I find comfort in the idea that people have been gazing at the same stars that I am throughout time. Times change, people change, especially living lives so informed by technology. It is easy to feel distant from the ages. It is easy to feel like my problems are so unique and that no one has ever experienced them before, that the lives of those before me must have been so different. But with my eyes looking up, time collapses, the millennia feel shorter, and that person in the mess of limbs may as well be Galileo, seeing the craters on the moon for the first time. As I was researching for this essay, for the sermon, I learned that transcendentalism was a response to the mild and rational temperament of Unitarians at the time. Emerson said that the services were too calm and sober. Like Emerson, I also find myself disappointed by the temperament of Sunday morning Unitarians. While the sermons speak to me, to my mind especially, my heart often yearns for those intense spiritual experiences I have with other UUs outside of church, especially in nature, especially at camp. Written on my heart are these moments. I came back to UVaru the summer after I graduated college. I was burnt out from my studies, from working 2 jobs, and I had had a rough go of it. After graduation, I had taken a job as a bicycle mechanic, and I was telling people that I would just take 1 year off and apply to seminary in the fall. The truth is, I had no idea if that was the right path for me. I was terrified that ministry was no longer my way. Since 14, when I decided I wanted to be a UU minister, I had always had a 10-year plan and then 9-year plan, and it always stopped with me arriving at seminary, going through those 3 years, and graduating. I would finish high school, I would study religion in undergrad, and then I would go to Harvard Divinity School. It was this gate that I needed to walk through to access the rest of my life. It was my North Star and had blinked out. Without it, I was trying to orient myself. I was considering pursuing a career as an artist and making good use of my skilled labor skills as a bicycle mechanic. My mom needed a chaplain for the youth camps. She had been looking for one for the middle school week and the high school week, and was having no luck, as is sometimes the case. But she got a little lucky to have me as her daughter, and she asked, and of course I went. I was out there for 2 weeks, and when I left, I was confident that ministry was still the right path for me. There was no one moment, but it was many small moments surrounded by the magic that is UVaru. I want to tell you about bridging. As Unitarian Universalists, we mark the occasion of our youth becoming adults, and we name it bridging. This happens in late spring or summer of their senior year of high school, and it is standard to bridge in each spiritual community they call home. So our youth might bridge here, and then they may also bridge at summer camps that have been important in shaping who they are. On the Saturday of camp, parents, young adults, and other community members make that drive down Thrill Hill and walk up to the Meditation Oak, our outdoor chapel, to witness our bridgers. I have had the distinct privilege of helping our bridgers craft this service for the past 2 years, and I feel so lucky to have been entrusted with that. Under the limbs of the live oak, each bridger gives a speech about what camp has meant to them, and they call up their dear friends to speak on what their friendship has meant. Some of these campers have been coming to camp for a decade. For some, it is their first summer. These speeches range from serious to silly, but there are always tears in the audience. Under those spreading branches, just about 2 decades of youth have spoken to what camp, what Why Are You, and what Unitarian Universalism means to them, me included. It is my favorite Unitarian Universalist ritual. As I have spent more time at camp, I have seen some campers grow and change throughout the years. Of course, a lot of that can be attributed to the natural processes of growing up, to their families, their churches, their education, but listening to them speak, it is abundantly clear. 1 week a year in a community found under the live oaks, surrounded by wildflowers and the katydids, makes a deep impact on these young people. At camp, we have daily religious education called U cubed for you, and you. I, as the chaplain, lead it. The first time I served as chaplain, I was so stressed I did not know where to start. Noticeably, I had exactly 0 experience with lesson planning, but that is not the main reason I was stressed. Many of our campers don't go to church. They live rurally, there's not a UU church near them, or there isn't religious education. And at middle school and high school, they may have opted out of attending. So, I started my planning by listing out the most important theological concepts that UU has to offer. This may be the only time that they hear the name James Luther Adams. I may be the only person to explain what liberation theology is. This may be their religious education for the year. I realize, though, that U cubed is a very small part of their religious education. At camp, they are living deeply in covenant all week, using it as guidelines for respect and integrity, and having active conversations about how they want to be together. They are living our values in a tangible way, and not just when it is easy. Even when standing the fire circle benches in the heat of the day, hungry and sweaty and tired, they are using their situational awareness, and they are practicing lean in, lean out. The elements make that experience richer. It pushes them and it bonds them. The sun, the heat, the bugs, the flowers, they make us more pliable, more open to shaping towards a community that cherishes our inherent worth and dignity and the web of life that connects us all. Living in that community for a week is the best religious education we can give them. Working, worshiping, living, and loving together teaches them more than I ever can. There, under the Milky Way, amongst the cacti, cicadas, and flowers, they may truly experience what it means to be Unitarian Universalist. The nature and covenantal community move souls in a way that neither can alone. There, I truly experienced the electrifying spiritual moments that made me into who I am. There, I found beloved community. I want to read you a stanza from my favorite hymn, and a hymn often sung at U, Blue Boat Home. Sun my sail and moon my rudder as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. This song is beloved at camp, even with the 9 and 10-year-olds. I did this workshop where I went through the meaning of different hymns, and I got them to choose which hymn they wanted to learn and talk about, and every single time they chose Blue Boat Home. And it is one of the more complicated songs we sing at camp, but there's just something about it that speaks to us so deeply. It says what I am trying to say here better than I can. With the sun as our sail and moon as our rudder, with good companions aboard, with guiding stars, and with intentionality, the affirming love of beloved community can be found. Not just at camp, of course. It can be found around the percolator after service in those intellectual conversations. It can be found in serving food to one another, nourishing our bellies and our souls. It can be found wherever you see the constellations, laying in fields or in the bed of a truck. We are journeying alone together, and nature clarifies that point. Nature has the power to move us towards community if we let it. My friends, let it. Let it make us pliable to that vision of beloved community. Thank you.
Say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, flying away by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Reading the words to extinguish the chalice found in the order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of the community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. Thank each and every one of you for being my companions and for journeying with me over the last 5 years. As long as we are on this beautiful blue boat home, we are journeying together. Let the light of beloved community be our North Star. Thank you.